So I'm here with the lovely Nichole, who is just getting ready to graduate out of the Mom Restore system, and she's going to share some of her story with us tonight. I'm super excited about that. So Nichole, go ahead and introduce yourself, a little bit about your family, your kiddos.
Okay. So my name is Nichole. I am a Canadian mom. So I am a very busy mom and wife to three kids, 5, 3, and 1. And my 1-year-old has Down syndrome. And I reached out to Megan because I wanted to make sure that in all of the chaos, I was trying to look after myself.
That's what it's all about. Yes.
Trying, always the goal, right?
You live on a farm, right? I think this is unique. Like you're super busy, like
Yes.
truly active, busy.
Super active, super busy. We live on a farm and it's a very busy farm, and we spend tons of time outside, and I spend lots of time looking after animals and looking after the garden and shoveling snow because it is January in Canada right now.
Yeah, I love that. I've always loved seeing that. So let's go to the very beginning. So when you decided to join the Mom Restore system, tell me a little bit about like right at that time where you were at with your health, and the goals that you had for yourself at that time.
So I listened to a little bit about Megan on the Lucky Few podcast. I'm a crazy podcaster, and her story just sat in my heart and really, really talked to me because I knew that this whole craziness of being a special needs mom is a really long-term thing, and I needed to feel like I was doing something to look after myself that, would feel a little bit like I was thriving a little bit more than surviving.
Mhm.
And so like my health was fine. Um I will kind of sidetrack and say that I non-optionally convinced my husband to be on this journey with me, and his health was less fine than mine. And he has done like phenomenal on the program. Like he might be like Megan's best result. I don't
Maybe I
know.
should be interviewing him instead.
Oh, he's not a reflective soul. Like you would not be getting.
Oh, but I appreciate that because I think sharing, his success as well as yours, because he was in a hard spot as well, like with his health, right?
Yeah, like we've just been trying to do some like preventative stuff with his health because he is like a walking time bomb for like family history of like cardiac disease and heart attacks at a young
Yeah.
age. And like he's
Yeah.
was the perfect body shape, size, composition, stress level, and all of the things. And so yeah, like I think Megan, the thing that has transformed our world is all of the nutrition stuff. Like, I'm a registered nurse and like I knew all of the components, but it's just a matter of like putting everything together.
Yeah.
And like he knew none of the components. And so like it's hard when you think like, okay, this is in my head, but it's not in everybody else's head. And then you have to put it together. And yeah, like our dietary habits have transformed. Like,
Mhm.
and I was like, they were good before, but they're great now. And
Yeah.
I'm really proud of
Experience.
that. Well, like, for example, like, John was prescribed a diet from the heart clinic, and it was just a bunch of junk that we wouldn't eat. Like,
Mhm.
like just food that is totally unnatural to us. So we have managed to like take the concepts of like building the protein in and building the snacking in and like portion control and just like all of the things that you taught us in like the first 5 weeks, and like we've taken all of the really amazing food that we produce and turned it into like the perfect nutrition for our bodies, right? Like
Yeah.
my like as like a direct marketer selling meat to customers, like my dream and my vision is that we are selling customers like really high quality, like nutrient dense food. And like now we've like made this like perfect combination of meat that we raise and vegetables that we raise into something that is truly like feeding our bodies.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not, you know, cooking his way to a heart attack now. Like, we're totally on the right track. And like, for example, like I've been stressing so hard about like my return to work
Right.
and
Yeah, we've talked about
what
that.
meals look like. And like, like I'm like a, if I want to show you I love you kind of person, I'm gonna feed you. So like like food is like all of my love language.
Yeah. Okay.
And so like making sure that like meals were made and lunches were made and like we had dinner to come home to was like, that's basically like top 10 on my priority list kind of thing. And so like that has been a big stressor to go back to work. And we came home last night, we were out a little bit later than normal and like managed to pull together this like amazing meal in like 25 minutes, and it was delicious and it was perfect. And it was like I'd marinated steak for shish kebab, so it was like bell peppers and onions and steak, and we had a little bit of rice on the side, and I cooked sweet potatoes for Sloan and a gigantic salad, and it was just like fuck, we're killing it.
So good. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So
And the more, it's just so fascinating to me because I've seen this in my own life too, right? Like when you're short on time and you're overwhelmed, like it's just so easy to feel like it's not doable and just like go back to like convenience foods. But really, like the more you play around with this and the more you experiment, you build up your confidence that like, you know what, like we don't have to fall back on,
and I've watched myself regress a little bit, and I'm able to like see it happening, and I'm like, okay, like, that was kind of a step backwards, but like, sometimes it's okay to have that happen. Like sometimes you just
totally.
need a comfort food, but like it's cool to like watch you catch yourself and be like, okay, like this week's meal plan is better here, here, and here. And yeah, so
Awesome.
I think
That's
the more that
awesome.
we practice with that skill, it'll get stronger too.
100%. 100%. That's so great. So where are you guys at as far as we started the program and now we're here? So you talked about like all the practical things of just how great you feel, but like what type of physical changes have you noticed, or even like energy or mental or any stress, any?
Okay, so honestly, like I wasn't in this for weight loss, but I've lost 10 pounds,
Okay.
which is huge. Like
That's
that's really
amazing.
cool. And
Yeah.
like,
And you guys were doing measurements as well, right? I remember.
yeah, so we were doing measurements almost weekly because it was like really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm just looking here. 4, 6, 7.5. So I lost a total of 8 inches.
Okay.
And
That's
like
amazing.
yeah, and like I didn't have like a ton of inches to lose. John's lost like 18 pounds. 2, 4, 8, 9, and 12 inches.
12 inches. Oh my gosh.
And these like week 10 are a couple weeks old. Like
Yeah.
he's been carving new holes into his belt, like his belt, like just about every week he drills a new hole into it. Like he needs to buy new pants because he looks like a homeless man.
That's amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
And I
So
love that. I love that because, with the weight, like so many people just get so fixated on that number on the scale. And I remember you saying this to me at one point when you guys were really excited about the physical changes that were happening. You were like, I haven't lost that much weight, but I can't believe like the inches and seeing this like actually move and change on my body, even though the scale wasn't there.
And like my weight like plateaued for quite a long time. Like probably like most of the time I'd kind of like lost like 3 or 4 or 5 pounds kind of thing. And then in the last like week or two, it's like dropped a little bit more. So it's just cool because it was a weight loss journey for him, but for me it's just kind of like nice because like I'm gonna go back to work and my work clothes fit. And like, that's really cool. It's
That's so
a
cool.
lot of confidence.
Amazing. Well, I'm
Yeah.
just so proud of you. And so besides like those physical changes that you've seen, have you noticed any other differences as far as your energy or your cravings or any of those other things?
But yeah, like I think that like maintaining the 2 snacks a day makes a huge difference. And like I'm I'm trying to be very diligent to that because I think it does make a big difference. And like one of the big things that I used to have is like I used to have a headache basically every day.
Hmm.
Like I'd wake up in the morning essentially with a headache. And I have had like maybe 4 of those in the entire time that we've been doing this program.
That's
So
amazing.
like I used to crave sugar and consume sugar like I was like just like living from one high to another, basically, like definitely a sugar addict. And like I'm not fully recovered. I know I have like a small portion of emotional eating because like at the end of the day I'm like feel entitled to a chocolate chip
Mhm.
or a handful of
Yeah.
chocolate chips.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
feel
you know
that.
what, like I don't have any other guilty pleasures. Like if I'm gonna pair my chocolate chips with a steak, I think it's all gonna level out. So
Yeah. 100%. Well, and that's the beauty of what I've taught you guys about blood sugar is that it's all about the balance. It's not that you can't have those things, but it's all about the balance and understanding like what's going to happen.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
cool.
So yeah, and the headaches, like not exactly sure what the trigger is that made those go away. I think it's the combination of things because I was really well hydrated before, so I don't think that they're dehydration headaches, but man, my head feels way better. One thing
That's
that I'm excited about is um, we did that intense blood work with John last spring. So it was like April, May, Marchish or something. And that was like the entire like nutrition panels and his cholesterol and like micronutrients and stuff like that. So we're due to repeat that again. And um, I think that that's going to be really fascinating because like that should tell us that like life has changed.
yeah.
And when that happens, I'm going to send that off to you because I think it will be really cool to see, like lots of it will be thanks to you and lots of it will be just thanks to like us kind of getting our life in order. But like, it'll be cool to see what his body has done differently. And God, I hope it's great because we've put in a lot of work. So
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, and it will be like this is all cumulative too, right?
yeah,
You know this, like the longer with anything health related, it's the long-term picture. It's winning the war, not just like all these little battles. So this year it'll be exciting, and then years and years and years down the road as you continue with this, it's just going to get better and better.
yeah.
That's the cool thing about this, right? It's not like a one and done diet. It's like this is the trajectory now, on and on. So I love that you guys feel that.
It's setting the bar, right? And now we're just going to keep moving the bar up.
Hmm. Love
Mhm.
it. So do you feel like you got everything out of this that you hoped to?
Yeah, like I am really okay with what we accomplished. Like
Good.
I think we did
Good.
great things.
Yeah. Amazing. I'm so happy about that. Thank you so much for sharing your story, your successes, and your feedback with me as
Yeah.
well. I appreciate that so much.